standing boundary conflict between the two counties. Meanwhile, Kenyans will pay slightly less for petrol and kerosene from July 15th to August 14th after the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, reduced the cost of the two commodities. In its latest monthly review on Friday, the energy regulator reduced petrol prices by 0.85 shillings, while kerosene decreased by 3.96 shillings per litre. EPRA maintained the cost of diesel at 179.67 shillings per litre. This comes 2 weeks after the authority increased the prices in line with the 16% VAT on fuel. Now, this was after the High Court on June 30th suspended the Finance Act 2023, which houses the doubling of VAT on fuel. This was a day after it was scheduled to come into force amid uproar over the tax proposals. Cabinet Secretary for Defense Aden Duale and other leaders from Northeastern region have reiterated the need to tighten security in areas of Northeastern region. Duale says his defense team is ready to fight the terror group Al-Shabaab, more especially along the borders of Kenya and Somalia. The CS toured Kotulo sub-county in Tarbaj constituency with Wajir County security team led by the county commissioner and military top echelons to urge local community to report any cases arising of insecurity by the Al-Shabaab and generally any external aggression against Kenya. The team also visited Gerile, Konton and concluded at Kotulo. The visit by the cabinet secretary comes shortly after the terror group launched another attack in Mandera County, where 2 police officers were reported dead plus 1 teacher.
Gerile, Konton, ambaye wanaishi mpaka yetu na Somalia. Na tunaambia Al-Shabaab, chuma chenu kiko motoni. Tutatumia askari wetu wa anga, wa ardhi, jeshi, wa bahari, special forces na viongozi, na tutawawinda mahali popote muko. I am sending a straightforward message to the leadership, rank and file of Al-Shabaab, the terrorist group, that we will hunt you down using all the security apparatus under our disposition. We will protect the integrity, the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of our people. And as part of the Horn of Africa, of IGAD, we will hunt you down in Kenya and in Somalia, and we will destroy your infrastructure. Na watu wetu wamekubali, watasimama na serikali kuhakikisha kwamba Al-Shabaab will not have a footing in and areas along our border.
The line of duty iko NPR 6 wamekufa na iko moja hata sahi hali yake iko mbaya kabisa, wamevunjika na hawezi kujifanyia kazi. Kwa hivyo, kwa sababu hao wanakufa kwa sababu ya yetu ama ya nchi yetu, nataka tuangalie ukifanya kazi na Waziri Kindiki, hawa wa vijana waangaliwa maslahi yao. Na kwa muda hapa, kwa sababu ya vitisho, wa vijana wengi hawana kazi, mpaka hata kazi kufanya imekuwa ni ngumu. Kazi ikiandikwa, hawa vijana waangaliwe.
Elsewhere, a section of leaders from Migori County have differed over the protests called by Azimio leadership, led by Raila Odinga. The leaders, led by Suna West legislator Peter Masara and Migori County Governor Ochilo Ayako, called upon the police to exercise caution and offer protection to the protesters and not shoot to kill them, as witnessed during the last Wednesday's demonstrations in various parts of the country. Suna West legislator Peter Masara called on the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, to come in and investigate the Migori case where a 17-year-old boy was alleged to have been shot dead by the police during the protests. However, on their part, Kuria West Member of Parliament Matthias Robi called on the police to arrest and even shoot the demonstrators who will be found vandalizing and breaking into people's business premises, as witnessed last week during the demonstrations in many parts of the country.
I have not been told on any property or business which was looted in Migori. But they ended up shooting a young boy, user from 3, in an estate in Nairobi. And now the boy is no more. We cannot accept such an act. That's why the Constitution of Kenya changed Kenya Police Force to Kenya Police Service. The police service should serve the public. And as for the 2010 Constitution, Article 38, it states the role and the work of the Kenya police during demonstration. Their work is to protect the demonstrators, protect property, and ensure there is peace. So we are so disappointed that we are losing life as a result of this act of the police officers.
It is not anything good for anybody because it has started to be staggering. Imeanza sasa waporaji wale ambao wengine wameingia ndani. It may have a cause, yes, but it has turned into another thing. So kama inawezekana ifanywe ama isifanywe, it will be very good for us. Because sasa watu wanaingia kwa nyumba ya watu, wanapora. Juzi my driver anawekea wakisu kwa tumbo, alafu ananyang'anywa mpaka ID.
Police must protect the lives of all Kenyans, demonstrating or not demonstrating. They protect and support all Kenyans who do not want to demonstrate in the same way that they must support all Kenyans who are demonstrating. So here is the challenge. If you tell the police today, and knowing very well they are not judges and they are not courts of law, to shoot anybody, I want to tell you that recently I was very sad when my brothers and sisters were shot in Hispania. They were not demonstrating for any political reason. They were demonstrating because of the insecurity that was engulfing the region.
Now to a gruesome turn of events along the Nakuru-Nairobi highway, where two people, a husband and a wife, have lost their lives as scores were injured, among them 31 students from Tui Light Secondary School in Kayole, Nairobi, in a horrible accident at Muguga area along Nairobi-Nakuru highway last night. Eyewitnesses have called upon the relevant authorities led by Kenha to fast-track the completion of the road where service lanes will be constructed to avert more loss of lives. While confirming the incident, Kikuyu Sub-County Police Commander Ronald Kirui said the investigations have started where two truck drivers are being investigated, as he called upon drivers to maintain driving discipline to avoid losing innocent people on the roads.
Hiyo yote mbili ambayo ilifanyika katika sehemu moja, tumeweza kupoteza watu wawili ambao ni familia, ni Reverend ya hapa Kikuyu, kanisa la PCA, na watu kadhaa wamepata majeruhi.
It involved a lorry a Nissan and a school bus. There were 44 students on board. We have been able to see that 14 of them. 2 are critically injured, but we are able to manage them. Of the clients in the Nissan, we had 4 patients in the Nissan. In the Rolly, we had 3 patients. 1 of them is critically ill, and we are still handling him. We will be able to manage him. There were also 4 teachers involved, but none of them has been hurt critically. So we are stabilizing the patients as we see our way forward in definitive management.
Gari 20 ambayo imekuwa imehusika kwa hii mjadala, kwa hii barabara accident, pamoja na mmoja ya pastor wetu hapa Kikuyu ambaye ni wa PCA wakiwa na bibi yake wameaga dunia, lakini wanafunzi tumeanza kuwatoa, walikuwa tu ni majeraha kidogo kidogo.
Now, Kikuyu elders from Kiama in Kiambu County have condemned the ongoing protests and demonstrations orchestrated by the opposition leader Raila Odinga and his brigade, where Kenyans have lost their lives and properties destroyed. The Council of Elders, led by their county chairman Shamte Munya, said they are perturbed as leaders to see elections were held and the winner was sworn in, and therefore Raila should accept and allow the current government to fulfill their promises to Kenyans rather than castigating and using threats in the name of high cost of living. In a separate function, his sentiments were echoed by their national patron, Kongo Muigai, who urged Raila to stop unnecessary backdoor entry into the government and respect President Ruto as the head of state.
Ambia watu wasilipe kodi, na wewe ukifika kwenu unaanza kupiga kelele kwenu hakuna mabarabara, sijui kwenu maji haijafika, sijui madawa haina kwa hospitali. Lakini wewe siku ya pili unaambia watu wasitoe kodi. Serikali inafanyaka kazi na kodi inalipwa na wenye nchi, wale watu wako kwa hiyo nchi. Mtu aseme hiyo pesa tunatoa, tunataka kujua inatumiwa namna gani, kama inaibiwa, kama ni ya ufisadi. Hiyo ndio tutakubaliana naye, lakini kuambia watu wasitoe kodi, basi huyo mtu anatuharibu.
Mimi nashangaa sana kama mnatetea mwananchi wa kawaida, kwani watoto wenu si wananchi wa kawaida? Kwa hivyo tungeomba hii mambo iishe, sababu hata saa hii mkapewa serikali, ni nini mtafanya ambaye haifanyiki? Kama ushuru iko juu, mtachukulia hapo hivyo mpeleke hivyo, sababu akichukua mheshimiwa rais alichukua unga ikiwa 230, bado hamjamfundi. Si jamani, mkuje mumsaidie, mumwambie hata kama mumwendi State House, si mumwambie pitia, fanya mbinu hii, fanya hivi, enda ufanye namna hii, pesa sikuje. Si lazima mlete pesa kama mheshimiwa Raila ndio rais.
Islamic caps known as takia caps or kofia in East Africa are regarded as a garment of honor associated with male believers of the Islamic religion and attached to the Swahili culture. To them, the kofias are not just an identity, but a treasure in their religion. However, few people, especially the non-Muslim, know the significance and how they are sued.
The kofias are unique in their designs, sewing techniques, and some bear preferences according to different age groups.
Zamani kulikuwa na kofia za harusi, watu wakivaa wakati wa harusi. Kuna kofia za matanga, watu wakivaa wakati wa matanga. Kuna kofia wakati wa sherehe katika mji tu kawaida wanavaa. Kuna kofia za kupokea wageni, na kila moja ina maana yake na maua yake na majina yake. Kila kofia. Kuna kofia tuseme kama za wazee wengi, kuna kofia za tabaka pia, vijana, wazee na waheshimiwa.
Generally, there are original kofias and modern kofias sewn with rubber.
Lakini tunatumia material ile ya alamu ya asilia, wale wanaweka uzi, sisi tunaweka ile mpira. Katika kila tundu tutaweka mpira. Alafu wengine wanaita kofia za kompyuta, wengine wanaita kofia za mashini, wengine wanaita kofia za moto za kisasa. Lakini za asilia ya alamu ni kofia za kushona na mkono ambazo zaitwa handmade.
On the other hand, the original ones are very expensive for these obvious reasons.
Zaishi muda mwingi sana. Na zachukua muda mwingi sana kuchukua kushona. Miezi mitatu, kuna kofia za miezi 6, yategemea ni sampuli gani kofia wewe washona.
The steps to sew them are 2. First is to get the fabric, known as mshadari, take it to the floral designer and then to the tailor. We are informed that elderly people prefer to wear bulibuli mtanga and bulibuli sahihi designs, while the youth prefer more floral designs.
Sasa mawili ataamua. Ima taleta kwetu tumchapie hiyo raba ambazo za kisasa tumebuni, ama peleke kwa mshonaji. Kwa raba ni siku moja tu ishamalizika kofia, lakini kofia hii ikienda kwa mshonaji inaweza kutukua miezi 3 mpaka miezi 6.
Besides the caps being honored nationally, even in the parliament, I wanted to know if it is good for a non-Muslim to wear. Sheikh Ahmed Mohammed tells us that it is not prohibited, but he who wears it must attach to its dignity.
Sasa wabara wanapochukua hizi kofia kuvaa, wasimisuse hizi kofia, kwa sababu huwezi kuvaa kofia ukaenda nao club, utachukana Uislamu, utachukana sisi Waislamu. Kwa hivyo ukivaa hakikisha unaenda pahali pa heshima na ukae na hadhari ili usichafue majina, kwa sababu wengi wa Uislamu si Uislamu kuvaa kofia, ni pambo la Waislamu, ni pambo la Kiswahili.
Paul Muniu, TV 47, Mombasa.
Meanwhile, visually impaired learners at St. Francis School of the Blind in West Pokot County have a reason to smile after Member of Parliament Samuel Moroto, with his Westlands counterpart Tim Onyonyi, promised to improve their learning facilities and create job opportunities immediately after graduation. Speaking during a fundraising event at St. Francis School of the Blind, MP Moroto urged parents with children living with disabilities to take their children to school. Moroto further called on well-wishers to support all learners in West Pokot, while Tim Onyonyi, who is also the chairman of Members of Parliament with Disabilities in the National Assembly, through his personal assistant, urged government to move with speed and allocate funds to support the learners who are always isolated in the society.
Nataka niulize pia wale well-wishers kama hiyo group ya kina team president na wengine. Hata president wakati alikuwa deputy president, leo mkono hapa hivi. Na ndio unaona kwamba hata hii pavement ambayo iko hapa hivi ni yeye aliweka. Mwingine aje tufanye namna hiyo, tufanye namna hiyo, kwa sababu tunatumika hii ni kufanya kazi Mungu.
Nataka kujaribu kubadilisha hiyo sheria kidogo iweze kuwaleta ndani wale wanafunzi ambao wanasomea katika shule maalum, kuhakikisha kuwa wanapewa ule msaada wa kulipiwa karo zao ndio waweze kuletwa kutoka sehemu mbalimbali.
Barely 3 months ago, a family in Kibera lost their newborn baby after a tear gas canister was hurled into their house during clashes between residents and the police. A month ago, 35 pupils from Ndarura Primary School were hospitalized after police used tear gas to disperse traders who were protesting the overnight demolition of their stalls in Kawangware. During yesterday's anti-government protests, 50 pupils from Kihomboini Primary School in Kangemi were hospitalized after a tear gas canister was lobbed into their classroom. The effects of tear gas are unfathomable, especially on children who are still developing both physically and mentally. Take a look.
Chaos, pain, and confusion. Scenes at the Kihomboini Primary School on Wednesday after a tear gas canister that was meant to counter protesters in the area landed in one of the classrooms during the Azimio protests. The incident sent fear, panic, and anger among parents who rushed to the school to secure their children, 50 of whom were rushed to a nearby hospital with breathing difficulties. And with the new wave of protests beginning, parents are facing sleepless nights over the safety of their children in places where they're expected to be their safest, not to mention the impact the inhalation might have on the minors.
First thing you want to do is to evacuate this child from the site of exposure or wherever the tear gas has been lobbed.
According to Dr. Lorraine Kemunto, the eyes, respiratory tract and the lungs could bear the brunt of inhaling the gas, with its impacts more severe than thought to be.
My name is Dr. Lorraine Kemunto. I'm a medical officer with hospital. If you're talking about the eyes, they'll have tearing, which is I think the most common, burning sensation in your eyes. You have eye pain, blood vision, you can't see. When it comes to the nose, you'll have a running nose. You can have some maybe nose discomfort, pain, burning sensation as well. Some people even get swelling. Coming to the mouth and the throat, you'll have the same, a burning sensation, especially in your throat.
What are you advised to do in case a child is exposed to tear gas?
The main measure is to flush the face which will cover the eyes, nose and mouth with copious amounts of water, so just to relieve that irritation.
The effects could be long-term.
So it will affect mainly your eyes. You might get issues with the nerve that supplies the eyes. You can get keratitis, which is just inflammation of the cornea, which is a part of the eye. Yeah, the chest-wise, you can also get some problems with asthma, reactivity, and in the long run, you can get obstructive disease. Yeah, so they can get long-term effects, especially with repeated and long duration exposures.
But as parents continue worrying about the health of their children, Education CS Ezekiel Machogu, during his visit to the school, has said learning will continue as usual, asking officers to be mindful of learners when quelling protests.
Children should be able to come to school as usual because the government is going to ensure that the now measures are put in place such that there should be no such disruption, there should be no such interference.
Vera Alberta, TV47, Nairobi.
It has now been revealed that many women from humble backgrounds are yet to benefit from government funds. This is according to the Women Enterprise Fund, WEF, at Muyeye area, Malindi Sub-County, Kilifi County, where a section of women complained that tithing financial problems had forced them to divert the funds they get to other uses. Led by Agnes Kombe of the Fazio Muungano Women Group, which consists of more than 200 members, the women said that bureaucracy surrounding the issuance of the funds was also a problem that needed to be addressed. Kombe said that most women were using the funds to buy food, pay school fees for their children and sort out other bills, hence leaving them with nothing to invest. A group consisting of 10 women receives 50,000 shillings loan from WEF, which translates to 5,000 shillings for each member, which according to Kombe is a drop in the ocean due to pressing financial matters.
Tulipatiwa 1400. Tukajenga banda la kuku, tukaweka kuku. Tukajiendeleza na miradi mingine midogo mdogo za kuuza mboga na hata njugu pia. Lakini wamama, mapato yetu ni hayo ya pata potea. Huo mradi ulififia, lakini banda liko. Tuwapo tutaweza kupata pesa nyingine, tunajiinua kutoka pale tumefifia kwenda juu.
Sisi tuna mradi wetu hasa wa kufuga kuku, lakini sasa hiyo pesa tutegawanya nusu, tupeane kwa biashara ndogo ndogo na nyingine tuongeze kuku pale kwenye banda letu.
Our engineered system inaweza kuruhusu ama kikundi cha wamama 10 waweze kuchukua 50,000 kwanza. Lakini tumeweka in a way that wakishalipa hii pesa basi wanapata pesa ile a high amount. Like wakilipa 50 basi tutawapatia 100,000, wakilipa 100,000 tunawapatia 200,000, wakilipa 200,000 tunawapatia 350,000, then 500,000 na mwisho 750,000 the maximum.
Now to some international news. Hundreds brave a band to join a protest against plans for constitutional change that will enable troubled Central African Republic's President Faustin Archange Touadera to bid for third term in office. Now, opposition leaders had a march of around 500 people through the capital Bangui under heavy escort from the car security forces and armored vehicles deployed by the United Nations peacekeeping mission, MONUSCO.